First, I'm going to start with Hawkeye, if I may.
Go ahead.
Because it stayed up till 2 for Hawkeye.
I didn't see any, was there any, viewing parties?
I mean, yeah, there was a couple. By viewing party, you mean just like a dude on his webcam?
Yeah, the watch-alongs.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a party, I guess. But, there was a few going on, and I'm not going to lie, I did have one on while I was there watching the finale.
What were your immediate thoughts?
I thought it was a fine conclusion to a fine 6-hour movie.
Damn fine.
I think it's probably my favorite of the Marvel shows this year.
Okay, yeah.
I was a fan. I like Captain and Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yep.
But this one probably tops it, I would say.
This definitely 100% tops it. This was, to me, this was hands down better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. It felt less fragmented, and maybe they had the advantage of they didn't really have to necessarily change their storyline.
That's the thing, right? I forgot about that. Falcon and Winter Soldier had to change their entire plot line after they already filmed it.
But this one felt more fun. That felt a little bit more like we wanted Falcon and Winter Soldier, and make no mistake, we liked it. I'm not saying we didn't like it, but we wanted that to be a buddy cop film in the vein of Lethal Weapon. Instead, we got Kate Bishop and Clint Barton in the vein of Lethal Weapon, having the buddy cop dynamic, except it's the weird dynamic between a mentor and a mentee. At Christmas.
So that's why I said when I saw the first episode of texting, I was like, it's like, oh, Disney's channeling Joel Silver and Shane Black minus the cocaine.
Yeah, there was no cocaine in this. It was implied. Trust me, bro. They're definitely pushing the white powder to the nose. The Tracksuit Mafia. What a great name too. Tracksuit Mafia. I love that.
No sold it.
No,
I like it.
Yeah, they liked it. So the big spoilers. There was no spoilers, and I was afraid because I got almost spoiled, but it really wasn't. There were spoilers in episode 4 and episode 5. And then I was like, well, there'll probably be some in 6, but there really wasn't. But it really wasn't too much of a spoiler. I mean, here comes the first spoiler. I mean, in episode 1, we saw the hand and we heard the voice, and we kind of suspected that Kingpin was going to be in it.
Can you do a Kingpin voice?
I don't think I can. That was more like a video, but no, we've talked about this on the show before. You know, Robert Zadar used to actually call me Vinny because I looked so much like Vincent D'Onofrio. You know, so
you were young Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, that's Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you're gonna be my Vinny. Once you write me that horror western, you're gonna be my Vinny. But I can't do it. But I do like the way he delivers it. And this show was just fun. They made Kingpin even more fun than he was even in Daredevil. Do you think it was serendipitous timing that they alluded to Kingpin, and then Spider-Man No Way Home drops, and then we get, I don't know about your theater, but my theater, there was a huge pop for Matt Murdock. A huge
100%.
Pop. It was a huge pop. So right there, boom, two of the very noticeable characters from the Netflix MCU show pop up within days of each other. You couldn't time that better.
Yeah.
But having Kingpin
I don't think
in
it's
there,
serendipitous. I think it's totally on purpose, obviously.
Yeah, because usually a big studio head like that, can they time that well? And the answer is yes. Yes, they can. And another part that made this show so fun for me was Yelena.
Yelena awesome. Belova is the most adorable assassin.
Oh my God, she's great.
You just want to let her kill you.
Yes, it's just like, okay, can I eat your cheesy noodles, the delicious noodles, before I kill you? Yeah, I mean, she just made that whole scene in Kate Bishop's kitchen when she was making the mac and cheese. That scene was great. I saw somebody made like a 10-hour version of that.
Did they really?
Yeah.
No, it's great. She's awesome on screen. Florence Pugh just. Oh yeah. What a great actress.
Yeah. So
and I like the part that I thought really got me was when they were mid fight scene, and Kate Bishop is like, "Hey, why don't we just have a drink instead?" And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah, I mean,
she just wants to hang out and have fun.
I don't know. I think Black Widow got a lot more hate than it should have. I mean, that was actually, I thought it was really well, and it had a lot to do with the casting, and it had a lot to do with Florence Pugh. And she brought that same fun feel to this film. And we got the payoff of the end scene, the end post-credit trailer scene with, what's her name? Julie Louise-Dreyfus character. Right when they hired her, and then you knew they were going to hire for Clint to kill Clint.
Oh, in Black Widow.
Yeah, we got the payoff to that. So I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I mean, it was Black Widow was fine, whatever. But I think as far as the Disney shows, this is probably my favorite. It just it was a blast. It was like it's an action movie, and it's kind of a throwback to an '80s action movie in a lot of ways, like you said, the buddy cop vibe.
And I feel like it's almost unfair. It's really tough for me to pick favorites and not favorites because it's unfair because I think Hawkeye would be classified as what, we've heard of it, and the Netflix shows really reflected this, of that street level show. And I can't really compare that to Loki or even WandaVision, because you have the magic in there. So it's a very different comparison because I don't know. Wanda was great because I guess you never forget your first. I mean, that was the first MCU show, even though they didn't stick.
Oh, it was a crazy time. Everybody was so excited for a new Marvel show because there was crazy shit going on in the world.
And it didn't stick the landing necessarily, but it was just like, it was, again, here's the theme between all of them. They were all fun. And I guess out of all of them, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I have this whole Rocky Balboa thing with my mouth. So I loosen this up. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Shampoo?
Would be at the bottom. What is shampoo?
Falcon and Winter Shoulders? I don't know why that came. Shampoo for men?
It would be shampoo for men. But I guess it would be the one that was the least amount of fun. Even though it was good. Even though Zemo dancing for 10 hours was fun.
That was fun. But for a shoot, I think I can't stop eating these chips. That's a shoot.
Yeah, I got them away from me.
For a shoot, though, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier, they had to change the whole plot line. So it went through big edits. And I think WandaVision, they didn't even finish it.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about this. I think it was unfinished.
That's right, because Darcy, they just had one little scene that...
She's just kind of gone at the end of the finale?
Yep. Yeah, she was just totally just gone at that, and she was a great character, so you know there's no way they did that on purpose.
And I'm wondering if there's just more that we didn't... that we didn't get.
It very well could be. But we're going to find out, because we have the House of Harkness that's coming up. It was Agatha. It was an Agatha spinoff all along, so... They're firing all cylinders, and they're going all in on having this TV universe kind of go at the same time as the film universe. So this was this the first official like crossover for a new-ish character with the Julie Louise-Dreyfus and the Yelena being in Black Widow and then being on the shows?
Was Julie Louise-Dreyfus?
No, she was in. She was at the end of Black Widow. So I just feel like that they started that narrative after Falcon and Winter Soldier. She hired Yelena, and now you saw that action play out on Hawkeye. But she hired her on screen.
Right.
So I don't know if was that the first time that we're starting to bleed over?
Movie crossover?
Yeah, that's bleeding over like that.
I guess for that particular storyline, I would imagine.
And it felt like I felt it the second time. It felt really big. And again, I always like to have a great group of people that you're watching with that pop at the right spots. At the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, when they showed the Doctor Strange trailer, which we can also talk about, when Wanda showed up, the crowd popped huge. There was no like, oh, you dropped the ending, or you fucked up. Like they said, it's like, oh, it's Wanda, and she referenced Westview from the show.
Yeah.
So it's now you're seeing that zigzag between.
The thing is, bro, if you don't pay the extra 20, how much is Disney Plus?
I don't even know.
Whatever it is,
it's cheaper annually. That's all I know.
Anyway, you won't be able to follow the films.
Yeah,
you need to watch the shows now too.
They're going to get to that point.
Disney demands it.
So it's funny that they're all getting. So WandaVision is spinning off, House of Harkness. Echo, who was the assassin in this show, right, is spinning off of Hawkeye. Was there Loki's getting a season 2, right? So I don't know if you count that as a spinoff, but they're starting to build properties, and it could be argued that you would watch a U.S. Agent John Walker show in a second.
It's comic book titles.
Yeah.
They're just expanding them exponentially now.
Yeah, and it's going fast, and it's great for if you're not a fan of comic book media. Sorry, because this is going to be the golden age, right? There's going to be never a time that since 2008, when that first Iron Man, this is going to be the golden age, because before that, I mean, it took decades. It's just like Superman 2 was so great, and it took, till 19, what was that? That was like 80? And then it took 89 before you had to make the jump to like Tim Burton doing Batman. And you're like, oh, that's great too. And then it took another decade, like 2000, before you got to like the X-Men. And then late 90s, you had Blade in there too. I mean, these were big, like clunking moves. And now it's just like boom, boom, boom. And it's going so fast. And people are able to keep up with it. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't feel, I guess if you started watching from the beginning, you're okay. I feel bad for the people that are like, where do I jump in and start to be kept up with this universe? Similar to like, I would love to watch Doctor Who. I feel like I would love everything about it, but I don't know where to start because it's been so long.
Well, if you're lost in the MCU and you need to catch up, just get the TNT app and just put it on a loop, play it 24/7.
Yeah, because they have
you'll see all the films eventually.
Yeah,
and you'll see all the Fast and the Furious films while you're at it.
Yes, you will. And there's a common thread there. Maybe TNT's all about family. Whether it's the family you're born with or the family you choose. But yeah, 2 thumbs up for Hawkeye. Yelena was a great highlight to that. Kate Bishop, she was awesome. Hats off to Haley Steinfeld. I mean, I know there was a little bit of a stretch, and you really had to fast forward through like, how does she already know how to fight so well? And they flash back to when it started for her, when she saw the Battle of New York and she saw Clint had no superpowers and he found a way. So she started doing martial arts and training with the bow and arrow. So you had to take that leap of faith. That's why she's already so good at it. But she was great. The casting was great. And then it was fantastic to see that some of our favorite parts of the Netflix shows are going to be safe, because now that it's established that, obviously besides Matt Murdock, now you have Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. It's established that at the minimum, maybe the Netflix shows are not canon, but they're going to be able to cherry pick the best parts of it. Sorry, Iron Fist.
Iron Fist is not crossing over. He's sitting by the phone and saying, why don't they call? But phone's not going to ring. I'd like to see Luke Cage brought over. I think they kind of dropped the ball. I like the actor they chose, and I liked the first season. I just think they sort of drug their feet on expanding the story.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Luke Cage for real,
I feel like
really well.
I don't know if it happened around the same time that I knew that Netflix wasn't going to Disney and Netflix weren't going to renew their deals, so these shows were going to drop off. I feel like I didn't watch the last episode of any of those except Daredevil. I finally went back and did watch, but I think The Defenders was really soft, where it should have been basically this is going to be the Avengers for Netflix, and they didn't pull that off. And I think that was like, oh, that sucks. So
I think the problem with those shows, this is why they didn't really take off. They all kind of looked and felt the same.
Yeah.
They didn't have any individual takes.
Yeah, I could see that. And then they had but the only thing that was the highlight that helped them stand out was the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn effect. Like, I'm sorry we can't get you a good script, but you're so good at this, we're going to keep putting you in there. Except Daredevil. All 3 seasons were great. And The Punisher, I wasn't too crazy about season 2, but man, you can't argue with it. John Bernthal as the Punisher. Come on, Red! Come on, Red! He was just so good in that.
You think he can take Dolph Lundgren?
Well, that's a really different take altogether. That is definitely a Michael Keaton versus Robert Pattinson problem. They just look so freaking different. Yeah, as dull. And I don't even know who was Punisher in Punisher Warzone. I just remember Dolph Lundgren.
I can't even remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either. That wasn't the one where John Travolta was the villain, right? Was it?
No,
that was Thomas
that was
Jane.
the Thomas Jane one.
Wow. So they've already had that many Punishers?
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few.
Punishers, yeah.
Did you see the Thomas Jane Punisher short film?
No,
Much better than the actual movie.
really.
Yeah, you can find it on. I'm sure it's on YouTube or something. Should we watch it right now? Yeah. He does. There's a Punisher short film that he did, and it's done more serious, and it's way better. Totally works. He could have worked as Punisher.
I don't know. I just remember in Punisher that having Tampa as the backdrop just didn't seem. I was like, are you on vacation? It just didn't have the same feel. I don't remember.
As New York City.
Yeah, it just didn't have the same feel. But I know we're going off the tracks. But yeah, Hawkeye, great. I'm glad that they got going with this. But speaking of that crossover, let's jump into.
Wait, I got to cut a promo on Hawkeye before we're done because.
Yeah, go ahead.
What did you think of the post-credit scene?
Oh, there really technically wasn't one. I mean, they had the Rogers, the musical, I Can Do This All Day. And I think that was Marvel's way of saying, because remember, it said Happy Holidays from Marvel Studios. And they're like, we're going to give you the gift of singing the entire song of I Can Do This All Day. But there was no...
There was no sting on there. There was no nothing.
Yeah, so I don't really count it. One movie did that. I forgot which one did that, where it was just basically a trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then I guess Spider-Man just did it, having Doctor Strange as the trailer at the end. I don't know. It doesn't... Yeah, so...
I was bummed. I thought we'd get something, And there was like, when I realized they were doing the whole song, I was like, okay, haha, funny. Kind of got rickrolled by Disney.
Yeah, it did feel like a rickroll.
But like, I thought we were going to get at least a little bit of... Maybe we'd see Steve Rogers in the crowd or something.
Yeah.
Watching his musical.
That would... Oh, yeah, something that simple would have been great.
We got nothing.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. They could have really done that and just as a throwaway. But then, can you imagine the Twitter chatter would have been if you just had Steve Rogers watching Rogers the musical?
Yeah, we'd be talking about it.
Even if it was old man Steve.
And yeah, because he would dig it.
Yeah,
that would be right up his alley, kind of entertainment. He'd be like, "This is a good show."
And then you could have had the meme. He's just like, "Hey, you gonna stay for the encore?" No, I don't think I will.
That's pretty good.
That would have been really good. So yeah, no, there really, really wasn't one. So I was kind of bummed about that. And of course, you just like you just click through and you're hoping it happens, and then it just doesn't happen.
Once Disney tells you to watch Shang-Chi, the show's over.